What's up, everybody? It's the one-man drywall army coming at you at the end of another successful job. Basically, this job was beautiful. I can't even tell you how satisfying it is to know that you, as one man, can go into a job and get it done. I guarantee you, you won't have no problems with bubbles. As for me, is I go with a 50-50 mix, 50 hot mud, 50 full weight box mud. So, and I'm going to tell you the reason why there's bubbles. The wall, when the mud sits on the wall, because the wall's sealed, the moisture has nowhere to go, so it's going to push back up off of the wall, and that's the reason why you have bubbles. And if you let it dry too long, then you're going to have bubbles. And so what I found was that if you get it wet, and you get it while it's wet but firm, you can throw a coat on it, but then you can avoid the bubbles because the second coat is going to absorb the moisture, opposed to it resisting and bouncing back and creating bubbles. Now, for some reason, this only happens on the second and third coat if you let it thoroughly dry. So what I do is I skim coat the 50-50 mix onto the wall, and then once I get it on the wall, right as it starts setting up, I go back with the knife and just kind of just knock down all the the lines or wrinkles or anything that will hang up the next coat from being smoother. So what I do then at that point is after I do that, I run the texture coat. Usually I can get it in 2 coats. There'll be some touch up, but if you do it any other way than the way that I'm saying, as far as this 50-50 mix, you can only do several walls at a time. You can't do a whole house unless you got a slew of guys. So if you're working by yourself, I would only do 2 or 3 walls at a time because you got to get right back at it. Because even if the 50-50 mix dries too much, you're going to get bubbles. The key is catching it while it's still wet. Now, let's say you do catch it while it's dry. I'm going to tell you that you have to put another coat over it, and then you're going to have to knock it down tight. And while the wall is wet, wait a minute or 2, not much more, and then throw your next coat on top. And that's how you avoid the bubbles. But that's only because it's wet. So you need a wet surface to put the second coat on. Okay, so look, I'm going to be doing some skim coating over some existing painted walls. Now the painted wall thing is pretty tricky, especially if you've done some before. You'll know that bubbles are a reality that could make your life a nightmare. So in this video, I'm going to show you my step-to-step process of what I do in order to avoid the bubbles and how I deal with it. And for me, it seems like it's the best out of the many ways that I've used. It's the way that I like the most. And so with that, let me go ahead and demonstrate. Okay, look, now that the mud is firm but still wet, so it just set up. This is what I did to knock out those lines. Just like that. Just run over it lightly, don't push too hard. You don't need to. As it, like I said, it's still wet, but it's firm. That's all it is. Just knock out any like lift off. Just so you start with the smoothest canvas you possibly can. So I'm getting ready to go in, gonna bid this job, but I'm 99% sure I'm gonna get it. We're just doing more work in beautiful Southern California. As you can see, our beaches are really, really nice. And we are in the middle of November, and the weather's still relatively good. But we do have some really nice looking beaches, as you can see. I hope you guys enjoy this, and hope you guys enjoy the job that's gonna come. Have a blessed day.